All right, so on the outside of your 4 types of slope foldable, you've got the 4 flaps. And so on the 4 flaps, we're going to have on the outside of the top left corner, this is going to be positive slope. So I'm just going to write it out to the side. Positive slope, and this is what goes on the outside of the top left flap. So this is a line that goes up from left to right. So you read the graph from left to right. Examples of a positive slope would be a ski lift. I'm going up the hill with a ski lift, an up escalator, hiking up a mountain, okay? That all goes on the outside. And then on the inside, when you open it up, you've got this on the inside. From left to right, the graph is increasing. So again, emphasizing we read the graph from left to right. So we're going to graph 2 points. We're going to go with -3, -3. And then we're going to go with 3, -1. And we're going to find the slope from this right here. And there's 2 ways we can do it. If we have the graph, we can draw our little slope triangle. And we would see that the vertical side of that is 2 vertical. And the horizontal side of that is 6. And that would simplify to 1/3. And that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to take these ordered pairs. We had -3, -3, and then we had -3, excuse me, that is a +3, +3, -1. And we can do the slope formula. So I could say -3 minus -1 for my y's, and then -3 minus a +3 for my x's. So we go in order. If I subtract from here to there, then I subtract from here to there for the x's. Then this is going to give me a -2 and a -6 here, which will still simplify to the same thing, 1/3. And if I draw my little similar triangles in there, here's a 1/3, here's a 1/3. And look, I'm still at the line, I'm still on the line, points on the line. Okay, and there's positive slope. All right, so the negative slope we're going to put over here on the top right-hand corner. So this goes on the outside of the top right, negative slope. Negative slope is a line that goes down from left to right. Okay, so notice here with this green line that I drew over here, we have, it's increasing from left to right. It's going uphill from left to right. So then, conversely, with negative, that will be going down the hill from left to right. So some examples to go with that would be sledding. Okay, sledding is a lot more fun if your hill is going down. Snow skiing, same. We've got the down escalator. we've got hiking down a mountain. I'm going to abbreviate mountain with MTN. Slides. Slides at the playground are more fun when they go downhill. You don't see them going uphill. Zip line, if you've ever been zip lining, that's tons of fun. It only works when gravity can push you down the zip line. Or any of those alpine coasters. Like it goes on the roof, that kind of thing. Okay, and even roller coasters. So roller coasters, up the hill is where you can hear the gears pulling you up the hill, and then the fun stuff is when you're going down the hill, okay? So on the inside, from left to right, the graph is decreasing. Okay, the slope is still rise to run, and we're going to graph 2 points, 0, 5, and 3, negative 4. Okay, so I've got 0, 5 here, and then 3, negative 4 here. Okay, now you could draw the triangles. I like to do my vertical side first. So notice how the triangle, the vertical side, is going down, okay, the y-axis. So from 0, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 for the vertical side, 3 for the horizontal side. So because that's going down from 0 to, or excuse me, from 5 to negative 4, that's a negative 9 change there vertically, vertical change to horizontal change there, which would simplify to negative 3. Okay, now if you do it according to the ordered pairs, you could say 5 minus negative 4 for your y's. So if I go from 5 minus negative 4, then I'm going to go from 0 minus 3. That's going to give me 9 over negative 3, which would still simplify to a negative 3 slope. And I could label those as M. So here, for this one, my slope was 1/3 there. Here my slope is negative 3. Okay, good. So it would seem like we've covered positive, we've covered negative. What else could there be, right? Well, we've got 2 more kinds. So I'm going to scroll up here and zoom in a little bit more. All right, the next kind that we have is a 0 slope. Okay, a 0 slope is what you might call a flat line. And these are the kinds of slopes that you see on a football field, on a basketball court, volleyball, soccer pitch. If you've ever been in an airport that's large enough to have the moving sidewalks, those are pretty cool. Those all have 0 slopes there, okay? So a 0 slope, let's say we have this line right here. So the equation for this line would be y equals negative 4. And we've talked about those when we were doing transformations, right? So when y equals negative 4, that means it's going through the y-axis at negative 4 in this straight line right here. Okay? So there's the equation, which if you're looking for the coefficient in front of the x, there isn't an x for there to be a coefficient. So this is one where you need to know the equation is y equals -4. It's going through the y-axis, at -4, and that's all it's doing, which means the slope here would be 0. Okay, now let's take 2 points off this line. Yes, okay. Brain fart. -4 minus -4 for my y's. So you can put parentheses around here so you don't lose all those negatives. And then I could do 5 minus 0 or 0 minus 5. And what I end up with as a slope is 0 over 5, or you could have 0 over -5. They both have the same result. And if you put them into your calculator, you're going to get 0 divided by 5. It equals 0. So the calculator will tell you that your slope is 0 there. Okay, so this is a horizontal straight line, as is evidenced there. And I want to emphasize here, when you are finding slope from the two ordered pairs, you have no rise in all run. So see how there's no up-down business going on here? There's no rise to it at all. It's all the way, it's all running. So all run, and there is no rise to it at all. Okay, so that might make sense for some of you there. All right, and then the last guy, the last kind of slope that we have is undefined. And this goes on the outside of the bottom right flap. Undefined. Okay, so this is the inverse of zero slope. So where zero slope was a flat horizontal line, undefined slope is a vertical line. Right? And if you've ever been in a courtroom and the judge walks into the courtroom and the bailiff says, "All rise," everybody does what? Or even if you've just seen a show, everybody stands up, right? And what kind of line are you when you are standing up? You are a vertical line. So some examples of this in real life would be an elevator. If any of you are into rock climbing, you would maybe encounter some undefined slopes there. If, again, relating it back to roller coasters, if you've ever been on like the Tower of Terror or any kind of drop line, something like that, where it just goes up and down and that's all it does, that's undefined slope. Okay, your equation here is going to be the inverse of zero slope. So x is 2. That's going to be an undefined slope. It's going through the x-axis, okay? So I'm emphasizing here, x. It's going through the x-axis, and that's all we know about this line. That means it's a vertical line right there. So then on the inside of your slab, you could, of your flap, this is a vertical line. Okay, and let's pick 2 points off of this line. Let's see, 2, 0 is one of them. And let's pick 2 and 4 here. Okay, now if I fit that into my slope formula, for the y's, I would subtract 4 and 0, and then on the bottom I would subtract 2 minus 2. And I would get a 4 here and a 0 there. So this is my slope, is 4 over 0. Erase this out of the way. Okay. Now, I want to emphasize again for you that this is all rise, and there is no run. It's totally vertical. There is no side-to-side action going on here. Okay? So emphasizing that. If you enter this into your calculator and you say 4 divided by 0 it's going to give you a divide by zero error. Error, okay? That tells you right there it's undefined. So some other things I want you to add to your page, and this will go not on this actual foldable, but just on that page where you glue it into your journal. I'm going to emphasize for you here, read a graph from left to right. Okay, just like you read words, and that's how some people get themselves confused on which way is positive and negative and zero and undefined. Always read a graph like you read your words, from left to right. Okay, so there's one thing I'd like to add to your notes. Another thing that I'd like to add is, this is really beneficial for some people, so if it works for you, fabulous. If it doesn't, that's okay. This is, you guys had a guy to help you with multiplying and dividing integers last year. So this year we've got slope dude. All right, and this is just to help you out. So